In the small, bustling village of Eldenwood, where hills rolled like waves and every sunset painted the sky in shades of gold, there lived a young farmer named Elias. He was known for his dedicated work ethic, often seen toiling in the fields long after the sun had dipped below the horizon. But despite his efforts, the fruits of his labor were modest at best. Elias dreamt of cultivating a thriving farm that would yield a bountiful harvest, enough to provide for his aging parents and the younger siblings who looked up to him. Each morning, he would wake up early, greet the dawn with a determination that burned brighter than the sun, and labored tirelessly. Yet, the land seemed to shy away from yielding much more than a meager produce. Discouraged, Elias sought advice from the village elder, a wise woman named Matilda. Her long gray hair, framed by the wrinkles of time, matched the wisdom in her deep-set eyes. Sitting across from her in the glowing light of her simple hut, Elias shared his woes. "Every day I work the fields, yet it feels like I'm battling the very earth itself. Sometimes I wonder if I should just accept my fate," he confessed, his voice heavy with despair. Matilda listened intently, her expression dispassionate yet compassionate. After a moment, she replied, "Elias, the path of success is rarely lit by the glow of instant results. It is a journey through struggles and failures that leads to true growth. You must learn to leverage challenges as stepping stones, not setbacks." Elias pondered her words, but doubt lingered in his heart. How did he transform his relentless efforts into a flourishing farm? As he left her hut, he made a silent pledge to himself to persevere. The next day, instead of his usual routine, Elias decided to try something different. He researched crop rotation, pest control, and irrigation techniques. Evenings saw him learning from neighboring farmers who had experienced success in their practices. Day by day, he applied his newfound knowledge to his fields. Spring blossomed, and with it came fresh hope. Elias planted a variety of crops, ensuring that he was diversifying his efforts. But when summer arrived, a sudden drought struck the village, and the soil that he had tirelessly worked fell dry and cracked. The villagers despaired, and some simply gave up, abandoning their fields in frustration. But not Elias. He remembered Matilda's advice and decided there must be a way forward. He joined forces with other struggling farmers to dig trenches, build reservoirs, and devise a way to utilize the river that flowed nearby, even if it was a mile away. They worked together, sharing ideas and labor, each farmer contributing according to their strengths. Weeks passed, along with the effort and sweat poured into the project. Elias could feel the camaraderie amongst his fellow villagers. The trenches began to fill, bringing life back to the parched land. Slowly, droplets of water found their way to their crops, and green began to reappear where once there had been only brown. As the rainy season approached, hope engulfed the village. The crops began to flourish, vibrant and abundant. But more importantly, the communal bond forged through adversity turned the village itself into a fertile ground. Farmers learned from one another, sharing seeds and techniques. They celebrated their successes together, none more than Elias, who finally began to reap what he had sown, both in his fields and in the hearts of his community. By the end of the season, when the harvest festival took place, the villagers gathered to thank the gods for their bounty. They offered gratitude not only for the crops, but also for the togetherness that had emerged through shared struggle.